Walmart. Do you guys shop at Walmart? I actually, in fairness, have not been to Walmart in a while. I used to go to Walmart all the time when we used to have a home in New Hampshire up on Lake Winnipesaukee. And I loved it. I would go to Walmart. I knew things were getting a little weird though when my little girls, this was like, I was like, we've lived in the city just too darn long, honey, because my kids would be out there in the parking lot at like 2 years old going, taxi, taxi. And my mom and dad would pull up in the car and they all thought it was the funniest thing. And I'm like, whoa, is this city living or what? But I would go to Walmart a lot in New Hampshire. I have not been in many years. We no longer have that house on Lake Winnipesaukee, so I don't get the chance to hit the Walmart store. But I don't know as I would right now because Walmart, they're on the line. Walmart is now responding. Feels it has to respond. It's trying to distance itself from one of its large shareholders. She actually owns 1.9% of the company because in the last, 5 trading sessions, the stock just keeps going lower, even lower today. And it's going lower because they're very fearful. Investors are fearful of not only what tariffs may mean for the company, but also what a boycott could mean for the company. A boycott because people are kind of upset about this woman right here. Her name is Christy Walton. She's the widow of John Walton, who was the son of Sam Walton, the founder, of course, of Walmart. And, well, she doesn't really like Trump very much, and she made that very clear in a New York Times full-page ad that she took out, because she's got tons and tons and oodles of money, pays to be married to the son of the founder of Walmart, to the point where everybody's picked up on it. Even Carrie Lake asking, do you shop at Walmart? David Heiress Jr. pointing out that it's totally wild that you have, in fact, his quote is insane, newspaper ad paid for by Christy Walton. Walmart heiress, like what's going on? I mean, Walmart knows the pain that Target got put through. They know the pain that Bud Light got put through. So this is why they're coming out and they're running as fast as they can. We condemn violence, including when it's directed towards law enforcement and the damaging of property. As a company with associates and customers in the Los Angeles region, we remain focused on the safety and that of the impacted associates, according to Bartlett, who is a spokesperson of VP Dan Bartlett over at Walmart. He goes on, the advertisements from Christy Walton are in no way connected to or endorsed by Walmart. She does not serve on the board or play any role in decision-making at Walmart. So this is what you call fleeing from that lovely heiress who could possibly take the company down. I guess, don't bite the hand that feeds you unless you got a whole lot of food to keep on eating. And likely she does as the woman who is the widow to the guy who founded Walmart. So it's a serious issue. I mean, look, all of these companies are trying to navigate this more dicey political space because for whatever reason, in the first Trump term, you could just kind of like bash them all day long, right? Like what was that about? They would just bash and bash and bash, and that was cool and that was clever. And now the administration has come in. They had 4 years on the sidelines. Everybody was like, what was that Project 2025 doing? I'm like, I think Project 2025 is actually fantastic, right? You had a bunch of lawyers thinking this through, saying, well, what if this happens? What do we do? Because the left had already thought it through. Obama had his peeps in there, aggressively using the law to their advantage. And Donald Trump came in and suddenly it was like, well, veto, and Comey with this and that and Russia. And before you knew it, you just couldn't get out of your own way if you were in the Trump administration. It was very difficult. Very difficult. And the amount of pressure that they put on anybody that was on the right or supported Donald Trump was extraordinary. So somehow they got away with it all that time. And now I think Trump's coming back in. He's like, I'm not going to play that game again. His whole team is like, we're not going to play that game again. And consequently, it's a whole different ballgame. And so if you're a company like Walmart, not only is it a different ballgame, right, from sort of the federal legislation standpoint, look at what ABC is dealing with Disney and Brendan Carr and the FCC breathing down their neck, but it's also different in terms of the people themselves because they got sick of it too. And they're like, we're not going to have a repeat of history. We're going to do things differently. And you know what? We can vote with our wallets. Our wallets actually have a whole lot of power in and of themselves. And so when we speak up collectively together, whether it's at the voting booths or whether it's with our pocketbooks by saying, you know, we don't need to go see Disney's Snow White. We don't need to go see Captain America that wants to basically advance a thesis that, you know what, Captain America is not all that American. That was the Captain America actor. That was his comment while sitting on an international stage in Italy. So all of a sudden people say, you know, I think I'm not going to actually participate in that. I'm not going to give them my money for that Disney ticket. I'm not going to shop at Walmart. I'm not going to shop at Target. I'm not going to drink Bud Light anymore because Coors Light tastes kind of just the same. And I don't have to deal with the headache of the political nonsense. So Walmart knows this. Shareholders know this. Again, as I look at the stock price, and I thought, well, at some point it will kind of pick up. And even today, I mean, everything is down today, and that's related to some of the international stuff that's going on. And of course, as you know, Donald Trump departing G7 early, that's believed to be in relation to some of the challenges, of course, serious challenges that we're seeing overseas as the Iran-Israel situation heats up. And of course, that would affect a company like Walmart. So that's partly what's going on. Actually, it just turned positive for the day, $94.46, but down, you know, rather significantly from the $100, nearly $100, $99.98 it was looking at the beginning of the month. So this is all boycott related. You see where I'm going with where, you know, we're heading. You see how serious an issue it is, to the point where, you know, Walmart's like, we need to distance ourselves from this lady because, you know, she's not helping any of us. And I'll tell you, she's not. She's really, really not. I wanted to get to Balance in Nature because, you know, we are fully independent on the Trish Regan show, and we love it that way. Believe me, we love it that way. I wouldn't have it any other way. That's why we're so excited about being in the top 100. Do what you can. Share, like, spread the word that we're here, guys, because it matters. Like, that algorithm kicks in, and it really, really does matter. And I don't know if we're going to make top 100 every week, but gosh darn it, I think for the last 4 weeks we have. So that's been darn exciting and very, very rewarding for me. But you know what also is really rewarding for me? You know, taking my vitamins every day. Balance of Nature. Those are the ones that I take. Let me put this up here. Balanceofnature.com. That's where you guys need to go. You can actually get 35% off. 35% off. Not bad, right? Balance of Nature. Here we go. .com. I take the fruits and veggies, 35% off with code word Trish, code Trish. I'm going to put it on the screen so you can see it in real time. 35% off. Not bad, not bad. Okay, there we go. And they are a wonderful company. You know, go to the website because they have all kinds of examples there of all the goodness that it has done for various people. So I'm not the only testimony. You can read all about them. You get free shipping, 35% off. They have all kinds of things. I mean, I take fruits and veggies, but they have like all kinds of stuff. Lots of different products and lots of good things, and, you know, no bad stuff in them, which is important. You know, they're even gluten-free, believe it or not, which is actually great, right? Because, you know, a lot of people have a gluten allergy. My daughter actually has a gluten allergy, so she can take these. 35% off, free shipping. Call 1-800-246-8751, 1-800-246-8751. Make sure you use code word Trish, okay? Code word Trish is the key. It helps me, it helps you, and, well, it helps Balance of Nature.